You know, have you ever got to that point where you watch an episode that's so bad that it makes you frustrated to the point where you just want to break the nearest window or expensive object next to you? That's this episode in a nutshell. Oh. Somepony to watch over me. I'm gonna get this out of the way. Somepony to watch over me is the worst episode of season 4. And yet for some reason, it's surprisingly not very high on a lot of worst lists, and a lot of people overshadow it from, say, Rainbow Falls, which, yes, I still don't understand why so many people hate it. Yeah. Okay, how about concentrate your hatred on the actual shit that's in front of us right now? And that's what I'm going to review today, because apparently half of the Brony analysis decided to review this episode after 2 or 3 dudes who do their own review of it and slap a rating on it. This is going to be really, really painful. Let's get this over with. Somepony to watch over me. Once again, the worst episode of season 4. So this episode of Sweet Apple Acres starts with the CMNC overhearing in the Apple family about Apple Bloom trying to watch over herself at home. Now, here's the thing. On paper, this sounds like a great episode. Apple Bloom having to be responsible to take over home. That is perfect. And once they all agree on it, they say,
so, we here have decided that you're old enough to stay home alone and take care of the chores yourself for the afternoon.
See, all that on paper, that sounds like a brilliant idea for an episode to see how much growth Applejack can develop to show how far she's come and that she's old enough to take care of herself. That is excellent sounding on paper. Unfortunately, the execution is absolute shit.
Philly, I know you're excited, but being the only pony here to take care of the day's chores is a big responsibility.
I know it, and it means everything to me that y'all think I'm grown up enough to handle it. I won't let you down. Well,
and of course, when and they
heat up too much. If it's hot, blow on it to cool it off, and take little sips. If you don't, you could get hiccups. You don't have to worry about me. I can take care of myself and the chores.
Exactly.
I guess you are. I'm just not so sure I am.
But...
And this is what happens afterwards, which is also the main problem of the episode.
I know I'm probably just being silly.
Yep.
But I know I'd feel a heap better if I could just check on Apple Bloom one last time.
Yep. Applejack abandons her job to deliver the pies to some faraway town just to check up on her little sister, who, might I add, on multiple occasions, said that she could take care of herself. And from that moment on, this episode goes down the shitter. Amazing. We're not even 10 minutes in, and I've already found out so many problems. This is going to be a fun one. Oh wait, that's right, I'm lying. It's going to suck.
You go on ahead and make your delivery.
Make sure the haves and most profit is fully.
And that's the thing. The next scene shows that Apple Bloom does know how to take care of herself. And
check. That's everything on Applejack's list. And now that my chores are done, since there's no one else here, I get to make all the decisions. If I want to listen to music, I can. If I want to read a book, I can. If I want to just stand here in the kitchen talking to myself, I can.
see? And everyone sympathizes for that kind of lesson, to see what happens and for Apple Bloom to take responsibility of having to be home alone. In fact, I'm sure every one of us as a kid had this opportunity for. Of course, I knew how to handle myself since I was like 9, 10, so I can sympathize with that. Unfortunately, what happens next is that Apple Bloom barges in and thinks that Applejack barges in and thinks...
And I'm so glad I did.
And Applejack becomes completely paranoid, making her severely, very, very, very unlikable.
I never thought about how dangerous things are around here.
It wasn't dangerous. Everything was going fine until you showed up. And from here on, this episode becomes a chore to watch. Hell, it's a chore even to review. It's almost like they thought that the writer had a brilliant idea for this episode, but the producers hired the writer for the week, kicked his ass to the curb, and had an intern do his job.
Thanks, but I'm really gonna be okay.
You are now, because I'm here and I'm staying.
Nope. I got nothing. Just no. Amazing. We're like. What? Oh my god, so many... Seriously, this episode is so bad that even Daily Motion is starting to, and if Daily Motion is having problems with this episode, it's really bad. So, we're not even 6 minutes in, and for Angry Joe to point out...
You done fucked it up!
Oh my god, this is going to be a rather painful episode. And it's about to get much, much worse. What follows for the rest of the next, 10 minutes is Applejack constantly babysitting over Apple Bloom.
Your fault. I know. I should never have left you alone.
No, it's kind of your fault that you neglected your job to go back to check on your sister. And if you don't know why I'm getting so upset over this code, and you're not seeing the bigger picture here, go to hell! I don't have time to explain it to you. I'm too angry at the moment.
But I don't need you looking after me. I'm perfectly capable of staying home alone. Really.
And Apple Bloom says over and over again that she's fine. So, instead of an episode of Apple Bloom watching herself over at home, this turns into an episode of Applejack constantly babysitting her and basically having Applejack's character once again get hit with the idiot stick. Like, seriously, I have never seen so much character 180 to this extreme. Okay? So let me get this straight. So you're saying that the whole character 180 in Rainbow Falls is going too hard, but this...
Just look. There's some soup for you in the refrigerator.
What was that?
What?
And you're saying that is totally believable. Okay, I'm just gonna stop ranting. I gotta stop ranting right now. I got less than 20 minutes of this shit left? Oh god.
I'm sticking right by your side.
I have nothing. So, yeah. So from here on out, this episode turns really, really bad. What follows for the next 5 minutes is basically Applejack sheltering Apple Bloom. Basically, a lot of the jobs Apple's much easier for her, even though she can clearly handle it herself. You gotta be kidding me. You gotta be kidding me.
For the love of... You signed baby proves everything.
Yup, your big sister let you down once, but I promise it won't ever happen again.
Well, you're doing it right now by basically, well, let's see, going against your job and, oh, I don't know, basically not letting your sister do everything on her own and just basically sheltering her way too much. And I know a lot of people mention this in the fandom, which I'm going to get to right now, that a lot of people say that Applejack is just worried that since her parents are dead, she doesn't want to lose another family member. Don't even start that fandom bullshit. Okay? Because they're not even going to address it, and the show never talks about it, which means, oh dear, it's not a mention in the freaking show! Which means I don't give a shit if something is never explained!
But really, I'm fine. I can take care of myself. I don't need you watching over me.
Aw, that's sweet.
Yeah. So you would think that this episode would finally have a moment where Apple Bloom would finally just lash out at Applejack, and then we could get into a famous... But guess what? We're only 10 minutes in.
I appreciate you trying to make me feel better, but don't worry. I'll always be here for you.
How is Applejack this oblivious in this episode? It's astonishing. It is absolutely fascinating of how astonishing... There are no words to describe how astonishing this moment is, of how oblivious Applejack is. It's probably the worst writing it's ever been to. Applejack's behavior is the same amount of level as bridal gossip stupid. In other words, it's bad. You thought I didn't like her in bridal gossip? Well, this is the same type of anger I'm getting to. It's amazing how not since, at least to me, Apple Family Reunion, we didn't have a good Applejack episode. I mean, technically a lot of people say that the last good Applejack episode before Season 5 was the last roundup. All the way back in Season 2! It's amazing how far she's fallen. So, because finally getting irritated of her sister for constantly watching over her, Apple Bloom decides to take matters into her own hands.
I got it! What? The pies! I'll sneak out and deliver them. Granny said that they were going to some incredibly hard-to-reach town. If I can do it alone, that'll show Applejack I don't need Somepony watching over me. Just one problem. Your sister's going to come back and check on you any minute.
Or rather, 5 seconds because of how far she's fallen.
Which means you need an escape plan. Oh, and I got an idea for one.
So the CMNC decide to bust her out, and they actually try to sing a song, but...
Escape plan. Let's get tired. The other make my sister see. I don't need her watching over me. No time for a song. Applejack's coming.
Okay, to this episode's credit, that is the only good thing about this episode. Unfortunately, that moment does not save the episode. Okay, so just to fast forward through most of this episode, eventually Applejack figures out that Apple Bloom's gone missing and Sweetie Belle and Scootaloo get busted.
Oh no!
So, and we actually get a nice, interesting environment, and it was nice to see, going through Apple Bloom doing it on her own. This might prove, and it's actually very atmospheric. Yeah, nice map there, by the way. I'm sure even, you know what, I got nothing. There's like 7 minutes there's like 7 minutes left of this episode. I need to power through this. So eventually she runs across into a creature that has a neck, like a goat arm, a tiger, and a snake. It's referred to as, I'm trying to look it up here, the Chimera. It's called the Chimera, which I know through, thank you, Persona, the series. Which is basically the thread of the episode. Okay, what is up with the lava pits that are just spewing out? What is it? What, is even God mad at this episode? Hell, if he was watching this, I wouldn't blame him.
I stay where you are. It's the only safe spot around here.
It don't look so safe to me.
Oh, you don't say, considering the fact that you're in a multiple body creature and in the land spewing with fire. I'm sure it's totally safe. Oh, God. You have no idea how painful this episode is. I'm fully amazed of how...
Oh, we just mean from the flames.
Yeah, not from us. What was that? Oh, can you guys speak up?
Oh, and here is another missed opportunity I must mention. The Chimera is a complete idiot. So yes, and another missed opportunity of a villain that's supposed to be threatening, but turns out to be not really all that scary, bites the dust. So many missed opportunities, it is literally making my brain go numb, and I am really just preparing myself for the worst here. But let's just get into...
I was about to tell our guests how we haven't eaten in days.
Well, then how'd you survive? Oh, wait, that's right. That's basically a mythical creature. Never mind. So Apple Bloom does her best to try to run away, and the action scene is actually surprisingly intense and also trying to outsmart the Chimera. And then, once again, we prove him why we're not supposed to be afraid of this thing to begin with.
This is your fault. You think you've always got to be in charge.
You're lucky, you know. You've got no idea what it's like to have a sister constantly looking over your shoulder.
And that line is just completely thrown away. Instead of Apple Bloom just basically sympathizing with the Chimera and saying like, oh yeah, you have no idea. My sister constantly watches over me and thinks that I can't do anything on my own. It never brought up again. Not once. Just completely nowhere.
Hang on, Apple Bloom. I'm coming.
So then Applejack washes over, wearing... Where did she get those black boots anyway? Is it probably something for the fan? Hand them the ads at the end edition's Rule 34. Don't try searching it up. But since I mentioned it, you're probably going to do it right now.
Hey, I thought I was in charge now.
Honestly, you know, I know this is supposed to be good action, but honestly, I really don't give a shit, because this is so painful to watch. Applejack defeats the Chimera, and they deliver the pies over to the mysterious town of who gives a shit, because honestly, I really don't care.
The cart! Hit all the pads! You actually got them all the way up here? In the dark? Through the flame geyser swamp? I said monster?
Yeah! The stuff that you were supposed to do in the first place, which is why she had to do it.
By yourself?
Yes?
Yeah?
Huh. Wow. That's mighty impressive.
It just Finally! You finally understand that your sister can do anything themselves. Is it to say that we had to wait 20 minutes for her to figure that out?
Any boy who can do that on her own will.
So they arrive at the place of, again, I really don't give a shit, and everyone chows on the pie.
Oh, glee! This pie's even tastier than my mama's saltwater casserole!
And we're about to prepare for the worst. One final kick in the balls.
Oh, Mama, don't be like that.
So yeah. So before we can end this episode, Applejack finally decides to give us the kicker. One final kick in the ass in which Apple Bloom and as the equivalent of the audience.
Just remember, you fellas wouldn't be enjoying these pies if it weren't for my sister.
And my sister.
But that don't change the fact that trying to make this delivery on your own was a plumb crazy thing to do.
I know.
I bet Granny Smith grounds you for a month for sneaking out.
Kanji, if you would tell Applejack something.
Get it? What you're really asking is, will you please beat the shit out of me, Kanji?
Yep. Applejack pretty much puts the entirety of the blame onto Apple Bloom, saying that she's grounded for what she did, despite the fact that this was her fault in the first place and suffers no repercussions from it. No, I'm not gonna lie, that's a good message. No, good moral. 10 out of 10. Quite possibly the best moral I've ever heard of.
Unfortunately, it's overshadowed by all this
Unyielding rage!
Yeah, seriously, who am I trying to kid? This moral is so poorly handled because Applejack doesn't take any responsibility for her actions, put the entire blame on Apple Bloom while suffering no repercussions, and it contradicts its own message. And the message basically contradicts itself. I don't give a shit. I'm not finishing this episode. Episode over. That was Somepony watch over me. It sucked. Worst episode of season 4. Hate it with a burning passion. It's bad. It's, as I said, it's the worst episode of season 4, and yet some people claim to defend it, and I can't understand why. You want to know why this episode is bad? Well, let's see. So many wasted opportunities with the Chimera and the episode completely thrown out the window. Applejack's character is completely thrown away entirely, and all the development from what she learned from is mostly gone. And to think that we could see some more development between Applejack and Apple Bloom, but nope. Applejack puts all the blame on Apple Bloom and suffers no repercussions for this and has to make the audience think that Apple Bloom was in the wrong, saying that I'm right, you're wrong, fuck all you guys. You can see why this is the most infuriating episode of the entire series. It is cringeworthy, it is painful to watch, and I cannot find myself to like anybody in this episode. Applejack is the major problem with this episode, and I think she's the worst that she's ever been. And this episode is irredeemable for what it's done here. And I am never, ever going to forgive anyone who thought that this was salvageable. I better wrap this up before my camera battery dies again. So, there really are no positives aside from that one note song number. Somepony to watch over me. It is shit. The worst episode of season 4, D-. It's over. I don't have to put up with this shit ever again. And thank God for it. Hopefully next time we'll get to an episode that's more redeemable. I'm Slaycan Gamer, and next time I will see you guys on Mod Pie. See you guys next time.